Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. If you do consider drop your likes and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So big breaking news now is coming out of the press in relation to Zinedine Zidane and in relation to Paul Pogba as well. So reports are coming out from the media. It's in the Manchester Evening News and it's in a couple of other media outlets as well that reportedly Zinedine Zidane has suggested out to Real Madrid, for Real Madrid, to go sign Paul Pogba in the summer, reportedly. As I did say as well, as it did say, Zinedine Zidane has actually instructed, Real Madrid, to open up talks, with Paul Pogba's current agent regarding a potential move to Real Madrid, as I currently said. Because obviously Zinedine Zidane has obviously, just returned back into management recently. So obviously, he's got a second spell now in charge of Real Madrid as Zinedine Zidane, of course, as well. So he's got a second spell in charge with Real Madrid, of course, now as Zinedine Zidane. So he has come back into management and he's been reappointed as Real Madrid manager. And of course, Real Madrid, could maybe see a couple of players leave. So obviously they're identifying targets for this summer as well. And reportedly, Zinedine Zidane has identified Paul Pogba. Well, Zinedine Zidane, of course, has just been reappointed Real Madrid manager because obviously he obviously used to manage them as well. So initially he was managerless since May last year with Zinedine Zidane as well. What? All right. But as I was saying, yeah, in relation to Zinedine Zidane. So obviously this happened because obviously Real Madrid initially had Santiago Solari as their current caretaker manager reportedly, and yeah, he wasn't there that long, so he had a really short tenure with Real Madrid. Did Santiago Solari? He initially actually signed a new deal with Real Madrid until 2021. Sorry, so initially he was their caretaker manager as well. Was Santiago Solari. So Santiago Solari got fired. Now Zinedine Zidane he's got a second spell now in charge of Real Madrid, of course, as well, and he has signed a contract with them until 2022. And Zinedine Zidane's a really good manager. His philosophy is very good, and I think he was actually at one point, he was actually destined, to come in managing the Premier League with Zinedine Zidane, because obviously he's never played in the Premier League. Of course, he's never managed in the Premier League as well. But he's the only coach, to win back-to-back Champions League titles as well, because obviously he won 3 successful Champions League titles when he was at Real Madrid, from 2016 to 2018 as well, did Zinedine Zidane. So he has signed a contract, with Real Madrid until 2022, as I said. But he obviously initially he was managerless since May of last year as well. So obviously he's identifying a few targets as Zinedine Zidane. So reportedly he's instructed Real Madrid, to go open up talks, with Paul Pogba's agent, regarding a summer move, of course, as well. But I doubt Paul Pogba, will leave Manchester United, to be quite honest, because obviously since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took the reins at Manchester United, Paul Pogba's form has definitely, been rejuvenated, and I think his performances have been transformed. Paul Pogba's, as I currently said, and he's been one of our most influential players, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. I think he operates better in that number 10 role, because when he's in that number 10 role, he gets, he provides good service to the front men. He plays them delicate passes as well. Does Paul Pogba, and I think he's much better, when he's in a free role. And Paul Pogba, to quite honest, so I think he does look better in a number 10 position. To be quite honest, his breaks are good. His breaks box to box are very good. The timing of his runs have been fantastic, and he's been in absolutely fantastic form as Paul Pogba. And obviously, he's our most expensive player. We paid £89 million for him from Juventus back in 2016. I do think probably Paul Pogba would have left in the January transfer window if Jose Mourinho, of course, would have still been in charge of Manchester United. I probably think Paul Pogba would have left, because obviously there was a narrative going on as well, like, Juventus, there were talks about him, making a return to Juventus. Obviously when he was younger, he had 4 great years with Juventus as well, did Paul Pogba. He did say Barcelona at one point had showed an interest in him as well, but obviously Barcelona won't be too interested now because they've got quite a few midfielders. Obviously they confirmed the signing of Frankie de Jong last summer as well. I think they agreed a £65 million fee with Ajax, but it is a year in advance, so officially Frankie de Jong is going to be officially a Barcelona player in the summer as well. But there were talks that Juventus were interested in him as well, and obviously when Mourinho was in charge, Paul Pogba himself, did admit that he was interested in making a return to Juventus as well, Paul Pogba. But he's been fantastic for Manchester United. When he's playing in this kind of vein, he's a player that can be on at least 12 to 15 goals a season, without a shadow of a doubt. Indeed, so I doubt Manchester United are going to let Paul Pogba go as well. I think he's happy with Manchester United anywhere. He's Paul Pogba, to quite honest, and I think he's happy under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I do believe now we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, as I did say, I think we can start being a competitive elite level football club. He can start winning trophies as Manchester United manager, or at least get us up there competing as I couldn't have said. But from Real Madrid's perspective, obviously as I did say, when Zinedine Zidane left, they had a lot of problems Real Madrid. They obviously saw Ronaldo depart last summer after he spent a lot of years with Real Madrid. I think he spent about 8 or 9 years with Real Madrid as well. And at that point, mainly Real Madrid was built mainly around Ronaldo. To be quite honest with you, of course, there's been speculation. They could still see some of the other players leave as well. There's been a lot of talks of Gareth Bale going on as well, as I've been updating you. Manchester United are actually still linked with Gareth Bale. To be quite honest with you, of course, reports were coming out the other day as I did give you an update on actually suggesting out that reportedly from Dan Bolland, the Spanish publication, it reportedly said that Gareth Bale had reportedly purchased an house in Manchester. Reportedly, it allegedly said he'd agreed personal terms with a summer move to Old Trafford, as I said. But I think Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, said he's lost patience with Gareth Bale, and he wants to actually sell Gareth Bale this summer. Recent reports did say he was actually happy in Spain, and he's got no intentions of actually leaving Real Madrid. But either way, there's been talks in maybe going back to Tottenham as well. But I wouldn't want him at Manchester United anyway. I still think he's got a good ratio. His goal scoring form's very, very good as well. But he's age 29 now. He's aging up. Of course, he's got a record of injuries as well. So he is injury prone as well. So I just wouldn't want him at Manchester United. To quite honest, I know he's versatile as well as Gareth Bale. And reports did say Man United were willing to pay up to 60 odd million. Real Madrid were demanding that they wanted around £100 million for Gareth Bale. So in that scenario, it would be hard for us and Real Madrid, to come to an agreement on that as well. To be quite honest with you, it would be really, really hard indeed, as we all currently know. But as I did say, the narrative's been going on about this, since 2013, since the David Moyes era. We've been hearing rumours that Gareth Bale's been linked to a move to Old Trafford and all that. And I think he's still under contract with Real Madrid till 2022. But I think it will be hard for Real Madrid, to recoup the initial 85, 86 million pounds, they paid for him from Tottenham, back in 2013 as well. Obviously, all the silverware he's won on that and all his individual awards, obviously, become as a Real Madrid player as well. Gareth Bale's as well. But he's aging up now, and I wouldn't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. But he is well Premier League proven. He had 6 good years with Tottenham, as I said. Obviously as well, he began his career with Southampton. Did Gareth Bale as well. But we have been hearing the rumours for a long time. But he could still possibly leave Real Madrid in the summer as well. And Zinedine Zidane, really good manager, and obviously at one point Manchester United, wanted to recommend him in. His name was mentioned, when Jose Mourinho had just been sacked, and we know Pochettino's name had been mentioned for a long, long time, as I said. And Zinedine Zidane, he hadn't only managed Real Madrid, he played for them as a player, he played for Juventus as a player and won trophies. So mainly, Zinedine Zidane has got a good pedigree, and I think he can, he'll rejuvenate that Real Madrid team, Zinedine Zidane, because he did a great job, when he previously, managed them before he stepped down in May of last year as well, Zinedine Zidane. And Isco as well, he's a player that's been out of favour, with Real Madrid this season as well. Isco, I updated you on, was it last week, or something like that. And I do like Isco, to be quite honest. I think he's a really, really good fielder, is Isco. As I said, to come out the other day, actually, or whenever I updated you on it, said Manchester United in the summer move for him. It said Liverpool had also been interested, in Isco as well. And it also said Manchester City had showed a slight sorry guys, this internet keeps going down, as I said. But yeah, there were talks, as I said, about Isco. He said quite a few teams, were interested in him. As I said, he spent the entirety of his career, in Spain as well. Obviously, he's still got a contract on Madrid till 2022. He has got a big release clause as well as Isco, but I think he's mainly an attacking midfielder. He's also an ex-Malaga player. As I said, at one point he played for Malaga. He actually began his career with Valencia as well, the Disco. And he has been at Real Madrid since 2013, so this is 6th season now with Real Madrid. Is this scores as well. So there were talks about that going on the other week in the media, as I said. But ignore the Bale rumours, because I don't think he's coming to Manchester United anywhere. I don't want Bale at Manchester United because he's aging up. He's injury prone. I said he's been at Real Madrid a number of years now anyway. This is 6th season now with Real Madrid, of course. He's still scored a lot of goals, but he's injury prone, is Gareth Bale. So potentially I wouldn't want to see him come to Manchester United, to be quite honest with you as well. But there has just been news coming out about Paul Pogba saying that Zinedine Zidane has instructed Real Madrid, to go and sign him in the summer. and Zinedine Zidane wants Real Madrid, obviously, to open up talks, with Paul Pogba's agent, because obviously he's already planning more investment, is Zinedine Zidane, because obviously he's now been reappointed as Real Madrid manager. Obviously, maybe some of the players, maybe could leave, so obviously maybe wants to, invest in the summer window as well. There's Zinedine Zidane, of course, there as well. But Paul Pogba won't leave Manchester United. He'll be reluctant to leave Manchester United, of course. He has won a couple of trophies, since he's come here, Paul Pogba, because he has been here, since 2016. We actually had him when he was young, Paul Pogba. He actually began his senior career with Manchester United, but obviously he left because Ferguson, wasn't giving him game time, and that's obviously why Paul Pogba left. And he had a good 4 years in Italy, with Juventus. And since he's come to Manchester United, I've always thought he's been a very, very good player. It's just that his performances wasn't up to scratch, because obviously he wasn't playing under Mourinho like the majority of the team, weren't playing under Jose Mourinho, because he had bad disputes with Jose Mourinho as well. But Solskjaer has got a lot of time for Pogba. Pogba loves Solskjaer as well. So Pogba, is playing under him, fantastically well indeed as well. So there's been rumours going on about that as well. Obviously, more news to give you an update on, as I think I did update you on today. Anyway, I'm going to give you an update on now, is in relation to Alexis Sanchez. Reports are coming out of the media as well, saying that Manchester United are considering, putting Sanchez out on loan in the summer, reportedly. Obviously, we'd like to fully sanction Alexis Sanchez off, to be quite honest with you, but obviously, due to his staggering amount of wages, he currently gets, which is over £500,000 a week, which makes him obviously the highest paid player in the Premier League, of course. It's going to be hard, to find a buyer, for Alexis Sanchez as well. So I think Solskjaer's obviously lost faith in him, and he's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez. I think Solskjaer is happy with Manchester United, sanctioning Alexis Sanchez off in the summer, but I think we are considering, getting rid of him on loan, to be quite honest with you as well, because he's failed to fit under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system as Sanchez, and we know mainly anywhere, regardless of the string of injuries, we've had, when we haven't had all these string of injuries, we know mainly Martial has been first choice over Sanchez on that left-hand side, to be quite honest with you. But when Sanchez has been given the opportunity, he's failed to impress, to be quite honest with you, and he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal, as we all know. When he did come in, I thought he'd done really, really well for Manchester United, considering what he'd done at Arsenal and all that, because his pedigree at Arsenal, we're pretty good, to be honest with you. He scored a lot of goals, he's also versatile as well, but when we've mainly played him, we have played him on the left-hand side, to be quite honest with you, and he may look restricted in that position, he may not be getting the freedom in that position. That's maybe why he's been very, very inconsistent, as I said. But I think he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time here anyway, because he's been here just over a year now. He's had a string of injuries. He had 2 hamstring injuries, I think. Now he's just recently suffered another injury. Now he's got a knee injury, so he's out now for 4 to 6 weeks. Is Alexis Sanchez as well. I think with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics and all that, I think Sanchez will end up losing that number 7 shirt. To be quite honest with him as well. So I think Sanchez is definitely on his way out of Manchester United. Without a shadow of a doubt. So I do think he's going, but he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal. Of course, he's aging up now anyway. He's lost that yard of pace, to be quite honest with you as well. Such as Martial on that left-hand side. It's good news that he's recovered from injury now. He provides pace on the left-hand side. He creates, he scores goals, and he's a lot younger than Alexis Sanchez as well. So obviously he's mainly been the preferred option anywhere. But due to the string of injuries, we've give the fringe players a chance in there as well. But yeah, I think Sanchez is on his way out of Manchester United in the summer as well. And news has come out about Andres Pereira. Very, very good news that's come out. Reportedly, Manchester United have triggered, I think, a 1-year extension on his contract term as well. So it's been, we've triggered a further extension, a further 12 months on his contract term, as well as that as confirmed. Because Andres Pereira, considering, the string of injuries Manchester United have had, especially in that midfield, obviously he's been given more of a chance as Andres Pereira. And to be quite fair, he's performed very, very good indeed. He put a good performance out against Southampton in that 3-2 game, got a goal, provided an assist as well, did Andres Pereira. And of course, he's still young, is Andres Pereira. He's only, 23 years of age, as I said. Obviously, when, more players, do start recovering from injury, we've already seen some players recover from injury, but when, obviously, more players, recover from injury, obviously, he's going to fall down the pecking order again, and in that aspect, he does have strong reservations about his game time, does Andres Pereira, of course, as well. But, as I did say, when he was on his loan spells with Granada, on Valencia, in the La Liga, he was actually getting more regular game time with Andres Pereira, as I said, but, when he has been playing, when he has been given the opportunity, I think he's performed well, he's been playing between the lines, well. He's been playing them precise passes well, as well as Andres Pereira. So Manchester United have reportedly activated a 1-year extension as well, reportedly as well. So that's some more good news for Andres Pereira as well. But yeah, as I did come to say, guys, as I did say, we've got a big game, coming up against Wolves this weekend in the FA Cup, as I said, and we do know it's not going to be an easy game against Wolves in the FA Cup on Saturday. It is the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. There has been reports saying that is there a possibility that Herrera could come back from injury, because Herrera's been a very, very consistent player for Manchester United, as we all know, especially, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. Herrera's played very, very well. He's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well, when he has been fully fit under Herrera. I think he's been breaking the play well. I think he's got a lot of tenacity about his play as well, and he gallops forward very, very well, and he is a good ball playing midfielder. He's under Herrera, as we all currently know. So hopefully he will be back for the Wolves game, to quite honest. So when he does come back for the Wolves game, because obviously Nemanja Matic now has recovered from injury, he'll go with a midfield trio of obviously Herrera, Matic, and Pogba, of course, as well, because that's obviously been his main midfield trio. Obviously, before we got these string of injuries, of course, as well. But yeah, Herrera's been a very, very consistent player. He's been here since 2014. This is his 5th season now, is it? With Manchester United, of course. He's been consistent since we got him from Bilbao, but since Solskjaer's come in, he's obviously getting more game time. He's playing more regular in the team as well. So he deserves a new, and I hope we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract, because he deserves a new contract, based on his fantastic performances as well. And of course, Jesse Lingard, of course, as well. He's another player, I hope he's going to be back for the Wolves game as well. There is a possibility that Herrera, Lingard and Mata, could be back for the Wolves game as well. So that's good news, going into that game as well. But I think maybe for the Watford game, we should have every player back from injury, of course, apart from Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. But in relation to Jesse Lingard, when he's been fully fit, his performances have been fantastic, still very, very young in his generation as well, is Jesse Lingard, as we all know. He's still in his mid-20s, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think he looks very, very good when he plays out wide, wide on that right-hand side. I think he provides pace, just like Martial does when he's on the left wing, he provides pace, he scores goals, he provides as well, does Jesse Lingard as well. So I think he's a very, very good player, to be quite honest. So he has been a miss as Jesse Lingard, and we know mainly anywhere Jesse Lingard has been first choice over Juan Mata, of course, as well. Obviously, when Jesse Lingard's been fully fit, he's mainly been first choice over Juan Mata anywhere, because Lingard can play in the middle, he can play on the right wing. Mata can play in the middle, he can play on the right wing, but mainly when Solskjaer's have selected Mata and Lingard, he's obviously put them on the right, as I said, but obviously we know mainly it has been Jesse Lingard. In relation to Mata, of course, he's still got a hamstring injury. Of course, I still think he's a very consistent player. He's Juan Mata, he's age 30 now. Of course, he has lost that yard of pace, and I think, he has, lost that yard of pace as Juan Mata, because he's aging up, to be quite fair now. But I still think he's a very, very consistent player. He's been here a number of years now as Juan Mata. This is his 5th season now, of course, with Manchester United as well as Juan Mata. And overall, he's been in the Premier League a lot of years now as Juan Mata, as I said. He had 3 good years with Chelsea. He's had 5 good years with Manchester United as well. Haven't heard much in relation to his to contractual situations with him. I haven't heard much about it lately, to be quite honest. But Manchester United have been in discussions of getting Juan Mata a new deal at Manchester United as well. Obviously, we're not willing to offer him a long-term deal, considering that he's age 30 and considering that he's aging up as well, the Spaniard as well. Obviously, we've got other injuries as well. We know Valencia, of course, is still out with a calf injury. I think he's one of the players that's likely to leave Manchester United in the summer as well. So I think Valencia is on his way out of Manchester United. And he's been one long in serving players. He's been here since 2009. So this is his 10th season now in the process. So I think he's on his way out, because we opted against the decision, to give him that new 1-year contract extension. So I think Valencia is on his way out of Man United. Of course, as well, I think Darmian's on his way out of the club as well. So I think Darmian will probably leave Manchester United in the summer as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United, as well as Matteo Darmian. So I do see some players, quite a few players leaving Manchester United in the summer. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself is gonna have his say on our transfer plans in the summer as well. But we'll decide of what players are going to go in the summer. Solskjaer's been discussions with the Man United board of what players should stay, what players should leave in the summer as well. But obviously, we know that investment is needed into Manchester United, of course. Obviously, we know investment is needed. I've already identified, the areas, where Manchester United, of course, do need to strengthen up. We are going to get a spending spree in the summer. Obviously, we're going to, the board are backing, Solskjaer, to use that money good. Obviously, we've got a board that can invest in who Solskjaer, wants to bring into Manchester United in the summer anywhere. There's still a few contract renewals testimonials out to sort out, as I said, as I already give you an update on. But, since Solskjaer's coming, there's been a fantastic turnaround, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, as I said. Obviously, it's disappointing to see now that our 100% winning away record away from home now has come to an end. Obviously, we've suffered our first Premier League defeat, which was disappointing. But, Solskjaer's done a really, really good job at Manchester United. It's good to see that he has a lot of belief in the young players, and the young players again in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's trust, which is very, very good. I think there's a good tactician. He knows his lineups and everything. I think he shows good inspiration as well, and he knows what he's doing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know, and he does deserve the job on a full-time basis. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, because he hasn't got that managerial pedigree at the moment, a great managerial pedigree, in terms of like winning silver and all that. But I think that's definitely to come. That is definitely to come without a shadow of a doubt. If we can get some new additions into the club in the summer, that is definitely to come indeed. But he's done a great job. He's done a really, really good job. We're still in the fight for the top four without a shadow of a doubt. Don't rule us out. He's obviously got us to the last eight of the FA Cup, got us to the last eight of the Champions League as well. Of course, he's also now as a manager at Manchester United made history in the Premier League, which is good. One of his most iconic moments as well. One of his most iconic moments as manager is obviously the club's history in the Champions League as well, which was fantastic. So you can't knock what he's done. I would have even praised him, for the fantastic job he has done at Manchester United, of course, as well. Of course, there has been reports coming out as well, guys. I want to give you an update on, there has been reports coming out saying that Manchester United are set to name Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager on a permanent basis, during the international break. So Manchester United will reportedly, obviously, come to an agreement of giving Solskjaer the job permanently on a full-time basis, throughout the international break. So it will process probably, through the international break as well, because obviously the international break is coming up soon. Of course, Man United will pay obviously a compensation package to Mould of around £7-8 million or something like that. Obviously, so that's a very, very cheap alternative, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Manchester United did say we're set to have contract talks as well. Of course, I think the contract term is going to be about a 4-year contract or something like that. I think it's going to be a 4-year contract. I think it's worth around £30 million. I think there's plus bonuses involved inquired as well. So I think there's plus bonuses involved as well. His annual salary is going to be £7.5 million a year. So obviously he's happy to accept a lower wage package than what currently Jose Mourinho's on. Than what Jose Mourinho was on, because obviously Jose Mourinho was on 15 million a year, so Solskjaer's happy to accept half the wages, than what currently Jose Mourinho was on as well. And of course, as I did say, guys, he was only on £400,000 a year when he was Mould manager. So this is what it reportedly said in the Mirror the other week, as I already updated you on. It's going to be 400. He was on £400,000 a year with Mould, so he's got a big. Now he's on 7.5. He's going to be on £7.5 million a year with Man United. So in terms of that, he's going to be getting a huge pay rise. He's only going to Solskjaer as well, compared to what he was on at Mould. Because initially at the moment we have already given Mould a fee of 1.8 million to get get Solskjaer on a temporary basis as well, and he's done really well as I currently said. He's rejuvenated the atmosphere at Manchester United as well, and he's brought the fear factor back to the club as well, which is very good to see. And that fear factor hasn't been there since Alex Ferguson came in, but since Solskjaer's come in, he has brought that fear factor back as well. He's confirmed obviously his contractual situation with his former club Mould. He said his current contract term had expired with Mould as well. This is what Solskjaer said, because obviously he believes that he can't have two contracts, even though Mould did initially say that he is still actually under contract with Mould until 2021, and this is what basically Mould had currently said in the process. But Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United. He's getting the best out of his group of the players. The team's playing as a unit, which is good to see. As I did say, and he was also a great player for 11 years, as I said. So in that scenario, he knows about the club from being a great player for 11 years and flourished under Alex Ferguson. He won trophies, including 6 Premier League titles, of course, as well. He scored 126 goals in all competitions. Did Solskjaer as well. So yeah, definitely I think the right man for Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. But what else is there to update? I'll give you a bit of an update. I actually updated you on this earlier on, in relation to David De Gea. What are you doing?
City won 7-0.
Did they?
Yeah.
7-0?
10-1 aggregate.
Fucking hell.
They're strong, out.
Fucking hell. Dad, were it 7-0? Really? Did they? Sorry about that. Bastard. Yeah, they're alright. What? Yeah. Obviously. Yes, so to give you an update on, yes, so I was just doing something there. Sorry, I dropped my phone back and I was talking. Yes, so basically Manchester City, yeah, I've just beaten Schalke 7-0 as well. Very, very strong outfit. Manchester City, of course, it's ended 10-2 on aggregate as well. So obviously they're going to be in the draw for the draw. They're going to be in the Champions League draw for Friday as well. So we could possibly, maybe get Manchester City in the next round as well. So what a tie that'd be as well. So going back to what I was saying, I'm going to give you a bit of an update on David De Gea as well. Of course, I updated you on this earlier on. David De Gea, from his own perspective, wants to commit his long-term future with Manchester United, of course, as well. But obviously, in the process, Manchester United have been in contract negotiations. It's been a bit of a debate at the moment because reports are still saying that David De Gea reportedly is demanding that he wants around £400,000 a week. So he's demanding that he wants to be the highest paid player at the club alongside Alexis Sanchez. Reports do say Man United are not willing to meet what David De Gea is demanding in terms of wages, obviously, and stuff like that. Man United reportedly did say they were willing to offer him £350,000 a week, reportedly as well. Of course, last year we activated a 12-month extension on his current contract, so he is still under contract here until the summer of 2020. Is David De Gea as well, but he has been here a number of years now as David De Gea. Of course, this is his 7th, 8th season now, is it, at Manchester United. He's made 100 Premier League clean sheets. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions, as well as David De Gea as well. And obviously, he's grown, developed over the years, and he's been here a number of years as David De Gea. And of course, he's won everything here in terms of silverware and all that, everything in England, as I said. So hopefully, I think he's happy at Manchester United. He wants to commit his long-term future with Manchester United, does David De Gea, as I said. So hopefully, somewhere along the line, we can come to some sort of agreement. And as Solskjaer did say, he was actually confident, that David De Gea, will still sign a new contract at Manchester United, as I said. So I think it will happen. It's just the matter of when. But De Gea is demanding a higher wage package. Man United are reportedly, not willing to pay that as well. But he's won the club's player of the year as well. Out of the last 5 seasons, as well as David De Gea. So hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement in that scenario as well. Phil Jones, as well, he hasn't played lately. Phil Jones has obviously, had an illness, of course, as well. So he's been out with an illness as Phil Jones. In relation to Phil Jones, I don't really highly rate him, anymore, to be quite honest. We know mainly since Smalling has actually, recovered from injury, Solskjaer has been going with Smalling and Victor Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. We know there's other options, but he has mainly been selecting Smalling and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership, And to be fair, they have been blending in very, very well together, as most recent of Smalling and Lindelof. I'd prefer probably Bay and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership, because I know Bay's been in and out of the team this season, but he has got great potential as Eric Bay, and I think him and Lindelof would look better as a centre-back partnership than Smalling and Lindelof. But to be fair to Smalling, since he recovered from injury, his performances have been really, really good indeed, and he's looked very, very good alongside Lindelof, to be quite honest with you, as Chris Smalling. But this is his 9th season now at Manchester United, of course, is Chris Smalling's as well. So basically, he has mainly been going with Smalling and Lindelof, as I said. But Phil Jones is a possibility he could maybe be involved against Wolves as well, because I think he's now back in training as well as Phil Jones. I think it said Herrera, is he back in training? Lingard back in training? Mata back in training as well, as it did mention in the Manchester Evening News. So these all could be involved to play against Wolves as well, which is very, very good news indeed. Of course, as I did say, Lukaku probably will be playing him as I said, because he's been in really, really good form as Romelu Lukaku, to be quite fair. Even though I did say I've got strong reservations about Lukaku, I know that he's slow, Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest, but most recently, he's been in really, really good form as Lukaku, and I think he looks very, very effective, Lukaku, when he's getting support up front, and when Rashford's alongside him, I think actually Lukaku performs better, because when he's on his own, you can't rely on to make all them sprints, get them runs in behind him and all that as well, but I think when he's getting support up front, I think Lukaku does actually perform better, to be quite honest. And overall, he's got a good ratio, he's got a good pedigree in the Premier League as well. He's been in the Premier League quite a lot of years now. Obviously, he's at Man United now. Obviously, he was at Everton, he was at Chelsea and all that, and West Brom and all that as well. As Romelu Lukaku, and he's still a player that can be on 20 to 25 goals a season, without a shadow of doubt. So I have been very, very impressed with Romelu Lukaku's performances, to be quite honest. So I'd love to see him get given another opportunity against Wolves, to be quite honest, because his performances have been really, really good indeed. Romelu Lukaku's. There's still a possibility Man United, may sell him in the summer, but I think he's indicated that he does want to make the move to Juventus. Lukaku, if we do decide to sell him in the summer as well. But I have been very, very impressed with his performances, as I said, and since Solskjaer's coming, Lukaku's form has been rejuvenated. And in relation as well, to Marcus Rashford, as I said, in relation to Marcus Rashford, I hope somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting Marcus Rashford a new contract, because he does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances. He's been playing a key role under Solskjaer. I haven't, in terms of contractual situation and all that, I haven't heard much since, before the Liverpool game, because the reports coming out saying that Rashford had indicated that he wanted to sign, that he was on the verge of signing a new 6-year deal with Manchester United. So this would take him under contract till 2025. It'd take him to the age of 27. Yeah, he would take him to the age of 27, and he's 21 at the moment as well. He's Rashford, and he's still under contract till 2020. There's also an option of a further year as well, but he's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well as Marcus Rashford, to currency, and I think he looks very, very effective centrally. You can operate him out wide, but I think he looks much, much better in a central position, to be quite honest with you. Does Marcus Rashford as well. So I've been very, very impressed with his performances. I've been impressed, with obviously all the players' performances except Sanchez, but everyone else has stepped up to the plate. They've put good shifts in, all the players as well, and it's good to see that Solskjaer gives the young players a chance. He gives the fringe players a chance as well, and I think Solskjaer is definitely the right man for Manchester United, as I said. But got a big game, coming up at the weekend against Wolves. It's not going to be as easy as we think, to be quite honest, because Wolves have been in really, really good form this season. As I said earlier on in the video, of course, as well, Wolves have been in good form. I said, obviously, the last meeting between Manchester United and Wolves in the FA Cup was back in 2005-2006. It was in the FA Cup fourth round. We'd actually won the game by 3-0. It was at Molineux as well, and that was in 2005-2006. This is going to be the 100th meeting between Wolves and Manchester United to give you an update on in all competitions as well. Of course, the last time we played Wolves at Molineux in the Premier League was actually about 7 years ago. I think it was, and Manchester United won the game comfortably, by 5-0 as well against Wolves as well. But Nuno Santo at Wolves has done a really, really good job, to be quite fair. He's got them to 7th in the league table this season. Obviously won the championship with them last season as well. Did Nuno Santo as well. And obviously the other clubs he's managed, I think Wolves got him from Porto, so he did manage Porto. He also managed Valencia. I think he began his managerial career with Rio Ave or something like that as well. Did Nuno Santo. So he's done a really, really good job with Wolves, and he's also progressed them to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as well. I think it was a lot of years ago. It was a long time ago since Wolves got to a semi-final of an FA Cup thing as well. So it will be a difficult game, going to Wolves, because the record against the big teams, especially, has been very, very good this season. So if you look at, the record against the big teams this season, it's been very, very impressive indeed. They drew with us at Old Trafford early on this season. They got a draw at Chelsea most recently as well. And they've done really, really well against the big teams. A lot Liverpool out of the FA Cup as well. So they've done really, really well against the big teams of Wolves as well. So we hopefully can bounce back from the Arsenal defeat, and I hope that we don't lose that momentum and as confidence goes down. But I think we're capable of beating Wolves, as well as obviously enough quality in our team, to get past Wolves. But it's good news that I think Mata Lingard. Mata, Lingard, and Herrera hopefully will be back from injury, so they can participate in the Wolves game as well, which is very, very good news indeed as well. But as I did say at the beginning of the video, what I give you guys a current update on obviously is in relation to Paul Pogba. Reports are suggesting now in relation to Zinedine Zidane, who's just been reappointed Real Madrid manager recently. Of course, this is now his second spell in charge of Real Madrid. Of course, as well, he's obviously already planning, investment, for the summer for Real Madrid is Zinedine Zidane, and of course, reportedly he's targeted Paul Pogba for a possible summer transfer as Zinedine Zidane, and reportedly he's instructed Real Madrid to actually open up negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent, which is obviously Raiola, as I said, and so reportedly Zinedine Zidane's actually stashed out for Real Madrid, to actually go sign Paul Pogba in the summer, but Real Madrid it won't happen. Paul Pogba's happy at Manchester United, and since Solskjaer's coming, he's been one of our most influential players, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. I don't need to really mention the Arsenal game. I've already given you my analysis on the Arsenal game. As I said, it was disappointing, as we all know. Solskjaer obviously pinpointed. He reflected on the game, and he pinpointed the big chances we had in that Arsenal game as well. Obviously, we had 7 players out for that Arsenal game at the weekend as well. We saw Matic come back in, Martial come back as well, but he didn't start from the start. He came on in the second half as well in that Arsenal game as well. But I think it wasn't a penalty. Arsenal's second. I think that cost us. I think the chances we missed through Lukaku, cost us in that game as well. I don't think it was a bad performance. For the first 25 minutes was bad because Arsenal were on top. They came out of the blocks in the first 25 minutes. Did Arsenal sustain attacks, won every second ball, won first to every ball, won them second balls as well, won them tackles easily as well in the first 25 minutes. And we looked very, very ineffective in that midfield. So Matic was poor against Arsenal. Fred wasn't good against Arsenal. I don't know if Fred's a long-term solution, to be quite honest with you. There was quite a few players that played bad against Arsenal, but I thought some players, played really, really well for Manchester United. I thought Lukaku was the best player on the pitch. It's just that his finishing had currently let him down as well. But we'll forget about the Arsenal game. Hopefully we don't lose his confidence and we can get back to winning ways against Wolves at the weekend as well, which is very, very essential indeed. And I've obviously updated you on the other transfer rumours that have been going on as well. I've obviously given you my update on Philippe Coutinho. As I said, I've already given you an update on that. It mentions about Philippe Coutinho that he's still reportedly linked with a summer move to Old Trafford. Reportedly, Coutinho's interested in a summer move to Old Trafford. Reportedly, it does say actually if Coutinho does depart Barcelona in the summer, this would be bad for Liverpool because reportedly Liverpool would lose millions in clauses. Reportedly, I think it estimated they'd lose millions in clauses of around 17.6 million. Or something like that as well. But actually, Coutinho himself has been in discussion. Coutinho himself has spoken to some of our players, but regarding a move to Old Trafford in the summer as well, because he's found he's had a very, very difficult time with Barcelona's Coutinho since he moved there. He's only been at Barcelona just over a year, so I think he's been at Barcelona now 14 months, and he's failed to replicate that form he did at Liverpool, because he did have 5 great years with Liverpool, did Philippe Coutinho, and I think he actually wants to come back to the Premier League. Does Coutinho? He's still in his mid-20s, and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, as I said, but I think he's available for around £100 million, as reports do mention. But as I did say, he's fallen down the pecking order at Barcelona. He's obviously not getting that game time he'd want, so he's lacking regular game time. Is Coutinho as well, and he obviously is the third most expensive player in world football. Behind Neymar and Mbappe, because Barcelona paid 142 million. Barcelona won't recoup that 142 million pounds paid for him. Of course, not anywhere. But as I did say, he's still linked to a move to Old Trafford. Is Coutinho, as I said, and he had 5 great years at Liverpool, and he was really, really good with Liverpool. Obviously when he was younger, he served. He was obviously on loan with Espanyol. He began his senior career with Inter Milan as well. Liverpool only initially paid 8.5 million for him, from Inter Milan, and of course he's mainly an attacking midfielder. He can actually operate as a winger as well, so he is versatile. So I wouldn't really want Manchester United, to go sign him in the summer, to be quite honest. But I have heard rumours going on about that as well, especially in the last couple of days. But there was a narrative going on about in the January transfer window as well, guys. So yeah, that's a bit of transfer rumours to update you on. I've already updated you on the other transfer rumours as well that's been going on. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on this channel. If you do consider subscribe to my channel as always. Probably will be back tomorrow with some more live videos sometime as well to give you an update on. Of course, the Champions League draw is on Friday as well. We'll be giving you a reaction after the draw has been made, for the Champions League draw as I currently said. I'm really, really looking forward to see who we get in the last 8, to be be quite honest with you, but we'll currently see what happens. So anyway, as I said, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care.